This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your true heel phenom, SP3. We are back once again with another edition of one of our pay-per-view previews. This time for NJPW Sakura Genesis 2024, kicking off WrestleMania weekend. Yes, Sakura Genesis is a part of WrestleMania weekend. It goes down on WrestleMania Saturday. We are here to break down the card, and to do that, I have to bring in the man who is the MC, the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, J-News. Long time no see.
Hiatuses and such, SP3, they only allow me but so much time out of the dungeon nowadays. So, I got to make appearances where I can. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's your good brother J-News, and we back at it again. Me and SP3, the best tag team in the business, baby. Anyways, we back at it again. We're talking to Sakura Genesis, y'all. Can I just say, because I didn't get to talk about what went down this past month at the New Japan.
Me and Sonata, we talked about it. I dragged the negativity out of Sonata for her to tell the truth about what she really thought about the New Japan.
She is such a positive Pete, and I love her for it.
Yes. But
there are just some things you can't forgive. There are just some things you can't forgive. Look, the backup plan is in motion, SP3. You and I both agreed. It was either Shingo or Tsuji. We got Tsuji. Cool. You know what I'm saying? The only bad thing about what happened at the New Japan Cup, and I think the majority of us New Japan fans agree, is the way how things broke down and the matches weren't necessarily memorable this time around. That was really more the downfall of the New Japan Cup. So now going into Sakura Genesis, it's like, okay, cool. Tsuji gets another shot at the title. Does he win this time? Is it time for the Tsuji shock? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what? Because a lot of us are asking for the same thing. Give the new guys or the younger generation the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either we do it now or we just flounder in the abyss.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I would be perfectly fine with just moving from the House of Torture era. Well, if we can move away from that, I'd be perfectly fine. I don't care what era we go to, but anything would be better than the House of Torture era that we're currently in.
I think that, you know what? I think that the House of Torture era has really put things into perspective for New Japan Pro Wrestling. The differentiation between the Western fans, the differentiation between the local Japanese fans, it's put everything into perspective, I think. And the perspective is Japanese fans and Western fans like us alike. We don't like the House of Torture. At the end of the day, we can agree with that. No one likes the House of Torture, not in the sense of the House of Torture is supposed to be the heel team. We dislike them. No. They have go away heat at this point on both ends.
And it's like the argument before, and I think I've done an excellent job over our last couple of coverage of New Japan Pro Wrestling of expressing why a fourth place finish in a poll is not validation that someone is over somewhere.
Absolutely.
So I have heard that argument less since I started adamantly putting 10 toes down on that argument that is not validation. You don't go to you don't go to another parent and say, my kid, the parent says, oh, my kid won a spelling bee. Well, my kid did fourth place in a spelling bee. That's not something you brag about. No,
it's not. And I think what we need to realize is that not that the faction warfare stuff needs to stop, because that's just the New Japan way of doing things at the end of the day. It's just the gimmicky shit needs to go. It really needs to go. It's like enough already. Enough. Have them be a real heel faction. You know what I'm saying? Not these half-ass asinine like jokes without punchline beatdowns that they give people.
I just don't like how all the matches are the same.
They're the same.
I can literally tone out like the first 10 minutes, and then when the interference comes, oh, here we come, here comes the finish.
And it's and the whole thing with the most random weapons available, a wrench,
push-up
bar. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? But I just wanted to say that about the cup. It was lackluster.
It was disappointing. It definitely was disappointing.
It was definitely disappointing. But we got this. The positive out of it, obviously, was Tsuji being the winner here. That's the positive I took away from it. So we got this.
Funny enough,
yes, sir.
In our New Japan Cup final review, I gave House of Torture the LVP of the tournament.
Sure.
But you know who my MVP of the tournament was? Because I had to be different from Sanal. Sanal went with Tsuji, of course, because Tsuji is the person who got elevated the most. But I went with someone else. I was like, there's only one other person that I felt got elevated in the New Japan Cup.
Jack Perry.
Thank you. I was like, thank you. I was like, I felt like I was alone. I was like, no one understood what I was going with, and I felt alone. I was like, he's the only one that felt like he got elevated in this. He has a purpose. He's evolved in the New Japan nucleus now. Yeah, he's the one that got elevated the most outside of Tsuji.
Absolutely, man. I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just happy he's doing something at this point. That's really more or less where I'm at with Jack. I'm just happy he's doing something. So that's it. That's all I got.
Let's talk about this card. Sakura Genesis is going to be upcoming Saturday, April 6th, is going to go down. We have the card already laid out in front of us a couple of weeks in advance. This is going to go down at Ryogoku Sumo Hall. And a lot of big names on this card as well. But we're going to start off with match number 1 here, J-News, as we have our good friend Zack Sabre Jr. leading up TMDK with a returning Kosei Fujita to go against Ryusuke Taguchi and El Desperado of Hontai. Zack Sabre Jr., unfortunately, he ran into the buzzsaw, quote unquote, that was House of Torture in the New Japan Cup. And I really feel like that matchup with Ren Narita that started off good. It was like 2/3 really good matchup until the finish, like most House of Torture matches. And I feel like it cut off a lot of the steam and momentum that Zack had coming out of New Beginning.
Yeah. I do not disagree with you there. As per this match, tag match setup stuff as they usually do in New Japan. We all know how much I love it. But if we're doing previews and picks as we usually do, I'm going Zack and Fujita at this point. And I think maybe I think Fujita gets to pin on Taguchi, just to be on the lighter side of things.
Yeah, I'll go with Fujita getting the win on Taguchi because he needs the momentum boost because we're getting around the time for Best of Super Juniors, and I would love for Fujita to find his way in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Next up, we have more tag team action here, but an interesting one where we can talk about a little bit more outside of this matchup because you got LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón, being represented by former multi-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi to verse the former IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, the leader of the Bullet Club War Dogs, David Finlay, and of course Bloody Hands Gato. The reason why we have more to talk about than this match particular because the Bullet Club War Dogs have been in the headlines a lot as of late. First, you had Gabe Kidd confirming that he has re-signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He had been working the New Japan Cup without a contract, but coming out of it, and a great matchup that he had in the tournament with Shingo Takagi, coming out of it, signing a new deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as Drilla Maloney. Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors will be defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championships, Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on this card, which we'll get to in a bit. But then, unfortunate news, Alex Coughlin announcing that he is retired from professional wrestling following injuries that he suffered in the Dog Pound Steel Cage matchup. If you remember in the matchup, they had the old spot where they exposed the boards and the boards started flopping up and certain people fell through the boards. It was noticed by a lot of people coming out of it. And when the rumbling started about a week before he put out the tweet confirming this, that he was limping following the matchup. And he was one of the people that stepped through the boards, which I was one of the people. I demeaned that whole thing. Like, I was like, that was so unnecessary, so dangerous. I did not like that spot at all. And unfortunately, the ramifications of that matchup and the spot is that Alex Coughlin is retired. So what do you think about all the news concerning Bullet Club War Dogs before you give the prediction for the matchup of the War Dogs versus LIJ here?
So first things first, big ups to young Gabe for getting a new deal and getting a new bag, because he deserves it at the end of the day. So he basically put that damn faction on his back with his wild and crazy self, and he's been the star of the show so far. So I'm all right. So I'm not sold on eternal retirement for Alex Coughlin here, unless the injury is so severe that he just can't wrestle anymore, which we don't know because there's no public record of what it is that went wrong necessarily. Maybe give himself some time to recover and maybe come back in maybe a year or two. Who knows? I know of other wrestlers in the business who have spent more time retired and they came back. So, at the end of the day, if the injury wasn't life threatening or anything like that, or he didn't freaking pierce an organ or something of that nature, I think that there's a possibility that we could see him in professional wrestling again or whatever. But it might be a few years or whatever. So it is sad though, because the dude he's a freak show in the ring at the end of the day. His strength is unreal, man. And it was always cool to see him pull out something out of his ass when he was in the ring and stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss him because he was part of this last class of the LA Dojo, man. And the era of the LA Dojo is now a bygone era, dude. Like, it just doesn't exist anymore, So yeah, man, tough. I would imagine it was a tough decision for him to make, tough news to break at the end of the day. Him answering or commenting on the fact that he was retired was hilarious, where he told people to leave him the fuck alone, literally. So that was that was all him at the end of the day. But yeah, man, wish him nothing but the best at the end of the day, and hopefully he can recover from whatever the injury was, and he can live a long and healthy life. And hopefully maybe sometime down the road, if everything works out, we can see him back in the ring. So, but for now, he's done, and wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And he went out with probably like his biggest matchup that he had of his career, main event spot, new beginning in Osaka, big crowd, big matchup with Will Ospreay's farewell. So yeah, he went out in a big way if that's the end of his career. So, hats off to Alex Coughlin for a really damn good career. At bit short, it was really good for everything that he was able to accomplish in a short period of time, being an LA Dojo graduate. So hopefully we could see him one day down the road step back in the ring. But I'm going to take It's tough though, because both guys I feel is gonna get big matchups coming up in Hiromu and David Finlay here, but I'll go with Lij here because I feel like Bushi and Hiromu need the win to gain some momentum, because I feel like they might be in the race for the junior heavyweight tag team titles coming down the road.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I was thinking more of immediate reciprocation. Like, this is David Finlay's first match back since the injury, so I figured have him win because he was supposed to win the cup at this point. That just seems to be what the outcome was supposed to be. He was supposed to win the New Japan Cup.
I think he was going to lose to Tsuji.
Could have been
finals.
Could have been. But at the end of the day, give him the win, and he probably ends up pinning Bushi because it's Bushi. So
I can see that.
That's an option, but I definitely can see where you're coming from with Hiromu and Bushi tagging now, and maybe them going after the junior heavyweight tag team championship. So that 50-50 split on this one. But
Guido takes the loss, of course.
Yeah.
Third match on the card, we got trios action this time, J-News. It's going to be just 5 guys, Sonata, Yuya Uemura, and Doki versus United Empire's Jeff Cobb, Great Okan, and Callum Newman. I would say United Empire has the most intriguing ongoing storyline in NJPW as far as any of the factions, because they don't have their identity, they don't have their leader in Will Ospreay, and it seems like everyone's been having a different answer onto what's the direction of United Empire. If you ask TJP, he says he's going to be the new leader, and he's going to go in the junior heavyweight division, the heavyweight division, the open weight division. Jeff Cobb said that United Empire has never had a leader. Great Okan says he's a part of United Empire, but he doesn't want to be the leader. He doesn't really want to do anything with United Empire. Callum Newman's trying to prove himself, same with Francisco Akira, and then you got just 5 guys, which I think they need something to kind of spark them up again. But United Empire, I like what's going on with them as far as the stories that they got going on with each of the members coming out of the new beginning in Osaka. It feels like they are more interesting than War Dogs, because War Dogs have been all gone trying to get re-signed and deal with injuries coming out of the steel cage. So
I think that at this point, the United Empire looks to be on the way to disbandment if we're playing the story right. So
I don't think so.
Disbandment in the sense of the current incarnation of them, right? I think
that you could see. I think that I called this. I think I called this on our New Japan Cup final. I said my pick right now, and it still is a couple of weeks later, or I think a week or two later. In the Best of Super Junior final, it's Akira versus TJP. TJP wins to solidify himself as the leader of United Empire.
That is an interesting way to go. I don't think they'll go that route, though. That's just me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like they're a ship without a captain at this point, right? And they need some guidance. I don't know if you bring back Gideon for the sake of having an elder statesman wrangle up the team or whatever, just be a mouthpiece. But yeah, I don't know where this goes, and it's okay for me not to know, because to your point, it's probably the most interesting story in New Japan and whatnot, not knowing what's happening with the United Empire. As for just 5 guys, SP3, where has the magic gone? Where is it gone, SP3?
It's not here anymore. This show will be 1 year from the day that Sonata won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And man, oh man, just 5 guys felt like they were on top of the world coming out of that show. And 1 year later, their third match on the card, and I don't know what's going on. Yuya Uemura, I couldn't point him out of a pick of a lineup ever since his haircut. So Sonata doesn't need to be anywhere near the main event scene. It's like they're in a tough situation.
They are in a tough situation. They are. And, you know, to piggyback off of the whole Uemura thing, okay, so you had him lose his hair versus hair match. Wasn't this supposed to be the catalyst to something for him as a character? Where is this going? You know, people still love Doki. Everybody loves Doki.
The Jogi.
Have you? Oh my God! Have you seen Gino Gambino?
Oh my God! Who is that? Who is that man? Who is that man? Stole half of Gino.
Man, props to Gino for doing the damn thing and losing all that weight and looking great and being healthy and everything else in between. Yeah, man. Like, where's Tai Chi at, bro? Where's Taka?
Tai Chi's not on this card. Taka's not on this card.
What's happening, man? What is happening? Where is the magic for just 5 guys? It's gone, man. It's gone. It's gone. Oh man.
Unfortunate, but I am going to go with just 5 guys for the win here.
Just 5 guys for the win. I'm actually gonna go for the controlled level of chaos that is the United Empire right now. I understand.
I think Callum Newman's here to take the fall.
I get it, but Doki is on the other side. So, you know, it's even...
Doki's not Bushi. Let's stop. He's not Bushi. He's not Taka. He's not even the designated job guy for just 5 guys really anymore.
Good point. All right, but you know, I'm gonna go with the United Empire. A win, depending on who gets the pin, creates a new ripple in the story. That's my prediction.
We shall see. We shall see there. First title match on the card for Sakura Genesis. You got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line in really what's been its specialty for the past decade. A multi-team matchup, a 3-way this time, as the champions, the Bullet Club War Dogs, Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors, will defend against the former champions, Catch 2-2, and the team that they defeated 1 year ago, the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and the Jet Kevin Knight. We've talked about the whole issues with Catch 2-2 and the United Empire. They are really wanting to get back the junior heavyweight tag team titles to get themselves back on the road to success for the United Empire. Bullet Club War Dogs will be trying to reaffirm their dominance over the junior heavyweight tag team division, while the Intergalactic Jet Setters make their return to Japan and look to gain gold. Similar fashion that they did last year, coming back to Japan, winning the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles then. Can they repeat history here? I think that this has the potential to be one of the better matches on the card because all 3 of these teams are really damn good and they've had good chemistry and great matches before, but we've never seen it in the 3-way format. Who do you think wins?
The champs win. I feel like there's too much. There's too many balls in the air with all talent right now, and they need some sort of semblance of consistency. And if the War Dogs are the champions, keep them champions for the time being. And to your point, if Hiromu and Bushi will be going towards these championships, might as well beat champions who have been multi-time champions at this point to make it up, to give it some level of importance. So I say champs for the win here. I think you're absolutely right. I feel like this match is probably going to be one of the bangers during the night here at Sakura Genesis 2024. I expect to see high levels of speed and aerial ability in this match from Francesco Akira and the likes of Kush the God and Kevin Knight. And then we will see a whole bunch of, chicanery from the War Dogs, as we usually do. So, I'll leave it there. But the War Dogs for the win. I'm not going to say it's going to be a dirty finish. I don't think it's going to be a dirty finish or anything like that. But they might steal a victory in this one.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I can see LIJ, if they get the win earlier in the night, come out and maybe make the challenge for them, maybe for Wrestling Dantaku. But next up, you got the other tag team titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as Bishamon will challenge Bullet Club in Kenta and Chase Owens. Kenta and Chase Owens defeated the GOD, Hikuleo, and El Phantasmo to become the new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions back at New Beginning in Sapporo. They've held the titles since then, but they've lost in the New Japan Cup in separate singles matches to Bishamon, with Yoshihashi beating Kenta in the first round and Hiroki Goto beating Chase Owens in the second round on his way to the finals in the New Japan Cup. People saying it's a resurgence for Hiroki Goto going to the finals in the New Japan Cup, having a great matchup with Yota Tsuji, the best matchup in my opinion, arguably right up there with, I would say, Tsuji and Cobb, or that match was the best match of the tournament for me. But what do you think about Hiroki Goto's performance in the New Japan Cup final? What do you think about this matchup here? Who walks out with the tag team titles?
Man, Goto-san, I mean, I've been a fan for a while, man. To me, they didn't give him a long enough time at the top of the card to see as to what he could do. Not saying that they're going to do that now, but it was good to see him have that resurgence here at the New Japan Cup. So hopefully it continues in the G1. If I'm being honest, but we'll see how that breaks down. For this though, I said this under my breath while you were introing it. I just don't understand why Kenta and fucking Chase Owens are the champions. I don't
Me
get
either.
It.
I don't get it either.
I don't
think anyone gets it.
I don't get it. Bishamon for the win, bro. Like what is this? What is this?
You won't hear any arguments from me. As far I also agree with you on the junior heavyweight tag team title match. I think Bullet Club War Dogs retain there. But as far as this matchup, I need Bishamon to win because I have no interest in seeing Chase Owens and Kenta as a tag team, let alone the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And I don't see anyone kind of in the waiting who can take it from them if they did retain here. I think it's better to put it on Bishamon, and you have more options. Unfortunately, a lot of the options are House of Torture. Unfortunately, but
yeah, I mean, it's a House of Torture options.
TMDK, if they're finally gonna put the titles on TMDK.
But is it gonna be TMDK as in Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, or is it gonna be Zacky and Mikey at this point? Because they've been teaming so much lately.
I think it's mainly. I think it may be because Shane's not on the tour. I don't know what happened with Shane. I don't know if he's injured. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, me neither. So I'm just wondering as to what they would do there, or maybe probably put the Imperial unit back together. Okan and Jeff Cobb, put them dudes back together and have them finally get them straps, man. You know.
I don't see that happening.
I'm hoping on hope.
I appreciate the hope, man, but I don't see that happening. Next up, we got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship up for grabs, as Sho will defend against his former tag team partner in Roppongi 3K. Yo, these two men. Yeah, I almost said Sho again. Sho versus Yo. These two men have a long history with one another, coming up in the JoJos together, becoming tag team partners, going over to the US for Ring of Honor, training over there, coming back, winning IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on multiple occasions, winning the Super Junior Tag League on multiple occasions, and then finally breaking up as Sho joined up with Bullet Club, joined up with the House of Torture, but it took him a couple of years before he finally won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship back at New Beginning in Sapporo, to a lot of boos in controversial fashion over El Desperado via countout. But it was after that matchup on the next night in Sapporo that Yo stole the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And I've been liking the story that they've been telling with Yo using House of Torture games to get under the skin of his former tag team partner. Does Yo have a mental edge enough over Sho to get the win and win his first IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship here?
So obviously I have, well, not obviously, let me not say obviously. Here's my hypothetical. I think this is where this was supposed to be Wato's spot. If I'm being honest with myself, I think this is supposed to be Wato's spot. So they had to, obviously they had to pivot at the end of the day. Sho versus Yo should have been 3 years ago. This match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match between Sho and Yo should have happened 3 years ago. Not now. But,
I don't agree with that at all. But
I don't. With that being said,
I definitely don't think Yo was ready 3 years ago. But
it's more for canon in my head. Like, they split up. He joined the House of Torture. They should have had some sort of a blood feud. And then you can still steamroll this shit 3 years down the road.
They did. They had like 7 matches.
Do you remember any of them?
I remember the one in the stadium. I remember the first one. That's it.
Okay.
I remember the first one.
But anyways, I guess I don't know, because my personal opinion and bias is that I don't remember those matches from back then. And
no, that's fair. That's fair. It was in the pandemic. I mean,
yeah, no, but I think Yo and Sonata have very symmetrical kind of things going on character-wise. Like, I don't remember these matches, right? And Yo's never necessarily popped off the page. Sho, because he's part of House of Torture and you get the antics and the chicanery, you know who Sho is at the end of the day. Is this, to answer your question, is this Yo's opportunity to be the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion? Absolutely not. Because he still ain't ready. He still ain't ready, man.
Neither is Sho. Honestly, he regressed.
Right. I feel you. But this is what we're doing.
He regressed to the point that I think Yo is better now.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to say. Like I said, man, I truly feel this was supposed to be Wato's spot. I truly feel that way.
If this was Wato here, then I definitely would say Wato to win. But
yes,
because this is Yo, and yeah, it doesn't feel like Yo was the original plan, I'm going with Sho here.
Absolutely. I'm going with Sho here. Absolutely. And I hate to go with any House of Torture member.
I hate to go with Sho, and especially because I don't know who would beat him before we get to Best of Super Juniors, so we don't have to have a whole tournament and the winner faces Sho at the end. Yeah. I think that they need to, probably by Dantaku, get the title off of his ass.
I feel like they're if they really wanted to spice things up, booking here, hypothetical booking, they really wanted to spice things up, they'd have Taiji Ishimori beat Sho some way, somehow.
No, I am sick of Taiji Ishimori, Hiromu, Despy. Like, I'm sick of these people, these same fucking people, winning this IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's why, honestly, Sho is not the worst thing in the world. If he wasn't in House of Torture, that I would actually be like, this is a step in the right direction, because it's someone new. All these divisions just need new people. Tag team division. That's why, God, it wasn't just because we interviewed him in this channel. It was just very refreshing to have a new team, not Bishamon, be the tag team champion. And then they said, no, fuck that. We're gonna do something worse. And then we have the junior heavyweight division. He says, oh, we're gonna give you something new, but it's Sho. It's like, fuck you. It's like, what?
I don't know, man. And they haven't had anybody travel over there as of recent either. So that hasn't helped necessarily to be a main part of what's going on in the title picture, right?
Robbie,
so it's like
Leo Rush, the people that was here last year is not here now.
There, no one's there. Not even the Mexican guys. No Soberano Jr., no freaking who was there during the
Teton.
freaking Teton? No, Teton. It's like, yo, what are we
Teton
doing?
showed up in AEW for a Chris
Yes, he
Jericho
did.
match.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. Big ups to Teton. Big ups to Teton. Even though he didn't rep LIJ, big ups to Teton.
No, he didn't. He didn't. They ain't say nothing about him being in LIJ
Yeah.
too. And I was like, they wrong for that. They wrong for that.
But
God.
but we both got Show winning this match. I'm with you. I don't think Show should go into the Boss J as champion. I honestly don't. I don't know what they're gonna do here, kid. I really don't. Maybe they put it back on Kushida. I don't know.
I don't see them. They don't fucks with Kushida like that. No more.
Yeah, I know, right?
They don't fuck with him like that no more.
Ever since he signed that deal with TNA, it's like, nah. We ain't playing.
That's why he signed a deal with TNA. That's why Shibata signed with AEW. These are guys from like 10 years ago. They were like top guys or top upper card guys, and New Japan cared about them. But they saw when they dipped out for a little bit, got injured, or went to WWE and came back, New Japan wasn't treating them the same. So they was like, one of these US promotions gonna pay me a whole lot more money than you were.
Right. Yeah, but I'm not sure where the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship goes from here. I mean, if it stays with Show, then whatever. But we've got to get better caliber matches out of this shit.
I think they're waiting for Wato to come back.
I think Wato's not. I don't think Wato's due back for another 6 months or something like that.
Yeesh,
yeah,
rough. Yeah, it's rough. Going on to the next match on the card, 7th match on the card, another tag team matchup, but a big one, a special tag team matchup, a grudge match, if you will. It will be the House of Tortures, Ren Narita, and Jack Perry, the Scapegoat, going up against Shota Umino and his big brother, his dad, his big papa, his senpai, Blackpool Combat Club's own former 3-time AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. Shota Umino's life has been made a living hell by the House of Torture. Yes, pretty much every time he thinks that he gets a win against the House of Torture, they come back and make it worse for him. He beats Ren Narita at the Road to New Beginning, and then he goes against Jack Perry. He feels like he only has to deal with Jack Perry, and then here comes the House of Torture again. They cost him the matchup. Jack Perry joins up with the House of Torture. He's been fighting with them on the undercard of all these New Japan Cup matches, been increasing his tension and issues with Jack Perry along the way, leading to this big tag team matchup where Shota Umino made the call to Jon Moxley. So we have a weird but very interesting AEW and New Japan versus AEW and New Japan matchup here. And this all previews and builds up more hype for Windy City Riot when it's Shota Umino versus Jack Perry one-on-one in a rematch from the New Japan Cup tournament, as well as Jon Moxley getting his opportunity in the main event against Tetsuya Naito. Whether that's for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, we will see in the main event. But what do you think about this grudge tag team matchup and Shota Umino's life being made a living hell because New Japan doesn't want to push him? And House of Torture is always in his life, it seems.
It's a story, right? It's a story. They're using this to, I guess, build some sort of character for Shooter. First came the haircut, then came the House of Torture business, right? Obviously, he's always had ties to Jon Moxley. Shout out to Jon Moxley, brother. You needed that break. It's well deserved, by the way. Secondarily, can I just say that Jack Perry is the only member of the House of Torture with a regular promo photo? The rest of these fools got some dumbass pictures, man. Yo, Show's picture is ridiculous, bro. Evil's picture is the worst. Like, you can't even put Dick Togo in a fucking promo package. It's ridiculous, bro. He's the only normal one. And he's the one with the Minotaur head nowadays. The scapegoat. Oh, my God. Anyways, to the match here. Look, man, I've never seen Jon Moxley take a loss in a tag match. on the New Japan side of things, right? So somebody's got to get one up. I'm not too sure if this will lead to something AEW wise for Jack. I'm not sure. But I think pairing him with somebody he hasn't rubbed the wrong way as of yet, it's not a bad idea. So this might be a preview for that. Because from understanding like the locker room decorum at AEW, I've never heard and or read anything that John Moxley ever has a problem with and or wrestlers he's had a problem with. So, this might be a good way for Jack to get back in or whatever have you, based on what happens in this match. As for the New Japan aspect of this, we're still going with Shooter and Renarita. This hasn't gone anywhere as of yet. So who wins this match? I'm going with John Moxley getting the pin on somebody in this match. And they're still going to continue to make Shooter's life a living hell.
Also, torture is good because they can take losses like this. But I want to continue the story of them making Shota Umino's life a living hell. So even with Big Brother in his corner, I'm going with the House of Torture for the win. Jack Perry pinning Shota Umino.
SP3 has House of Torture winning 2 matches in this goddamn show.
House of Torture wins again. But I think Shota Umino wins at Windy City Riot, and it starts his road to redemption and his win in the G1 Climax tournament.
I don't know.
I think that this is all the story of setback after setback, House of Torture again in his life, and then it's all gonna lead to him coming back stronger, and then winning the G1 and going on the main event Wrestle Kingdom.
So here's a question. Do you think another one of the young guys? I mean, at this point, you're saying that Shooter's going to win the G1, so you're putting one of the young guys as a winner of the next tournament, basically.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that. Right. I agree with them going in that direction. I just don't know if they'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I have faith after the New Japan Cup. But 8th match on the card here, we got Evil defending the Never Openweight Championship against Shingo Takagi. It was Evil who beat Shingo in the New Japan Cup tournament after a series of shenanigans from the House of Torture, getting the victory to move on to the semifinals, where he lost to fellow LIJ member Yota Tsuji after multiple interferences from House of Torture, and LIJ kind of having their rules of never really getting involved in their other members' tournament matches. But Hiromu and Bushi always had Yota Tsuji's back or Shingo Takagi's back against the House of Torture. But it was a big moment when Shingo chose to have the back of Tsuji and help him get the victory over Evil. That led to a tag team matchup where Shingo Takagi and Tetsuya Naito picked up the victory over Dick Togo and Evil to set up this matchup here. Does Shingo Takagi regain the gold that he is very comfortable and familiar with, or does Evil continue his reign of terror as the Never Openweight champion? I'm going with Shingo here. I'm not going with 3.
I'm never picking Evil to win anything. Shingo Takagi for the win here. My hope is that they somehow end up giving Shingo new competition. As to who the new competition is going to be, I don't know, but that is my hope at the end of the day. But he will beat Evil. That much I do know.
I mean, he's got unfinished business with Taichi after Taichi's victory at New Beginning in Sapporo. I would love for them to run back him and Jeff Cobb. I think that has been too long since those guys have got into it with each other. Of course, him and Ishii is like the ultimate guaranteed banger, so you can always run that. So yeah, I think that she put in the Never Openweight Championship. I wanted him to win the Global Heavyweight Championship, but that seems to be something that they got on Nick Nemeth because of his name value for now. So I can understand that. So But I think it is time for Shingo to have gold back on his waist and the Never Openweight Championship he always delivers with. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
and then finally, the main event, what everybody will be watching on that morning, April 6th, Saturday, New Japan World. It's going to be Tetsuya Naito defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the 2024 New Japan Cup, Yota Tsuji. It is LIJ versus LIJ. When Yota Tsuji joined Los Ingobernables de Japón last year, he said that he was not only joining to join up with the most dominant faction and most popular faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling, he had all intentions of proving himself one-on-one against each of the members. He wants to usher in a new era of New Japan Pro Wrestling. In fact, he wants to get rid of the current IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and introduce a fourth generation of the title. He says, out with the old, in with the new. The reign has stopped, an emperor has left, but he's still here. Is Yota Tsuji's time to usher in the new era now, or does Naito retain as the remaining kind of saving face of the old generation of New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Man, SP3, 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 SP3. The question has been, since the Rainmaker has left, where does New Japan go? Who do they hitch their wagon to? As of right now, the leader of LIJ, Tetsuya Naito, one of the greatest New Japan pro wrestlers of our era, is holding the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. We both agreed back when he won that this particular reign did not need to be a long one. We both agreed with that.
Yeah.
This match right here is a bigger deal for Tsuji to win than if Tsuji would have won over Sonata, I think. Being who Tetsuya Naito has been to New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's my vantage point of it. I am picking Yota Tsuji to win here. That's right. I am picking this Tsuji shock to happen at Sakura Genesis. Because the controversy has to be what he's going to do with that belt. That's the storyline, right? Make it interesting somehow, some way for New Japan. Once he wins that belt, he's going to do something different. And we have to usher in a new era. Ushering in a new era for New Japan is the right way to go right now. To be quite honest, if you give us more of the same, what are we doing necessarily? Right? Now, is it the same mentality where it's like, well, is Tsuji even ready? I can't answer that for you. But the dude has star written all over him. He just does. He has a very unique charisma. His freaking moveset is fantastic. He's very popular amongst the fan base here in the West and in Japan as well. So there's no downside to Tsuji winning, at least in my estimation. So unless you want to make the G1 something where the young guys basically run not roughshod, but like you have two young guys meet in the finals and have that be the escalation and the elevation of or the further elevation of one of the younger guys. But I feel like that's not too long of a wait, but I feel like they're better off doing this Tsuji winning the championship now so they can walk into a new phase of New Japan with him winning this championship and then doing whatever he wants to do with the championship. That's just my take on it. What do you think, though? Like, what's your thought process on what's going to happen here? Who are you picking? Do you think the match is going to be any good?
I think the match is going to be great. I think that this is my odds-on favorite to be the match of the night on this card because it's very intriguing, and I love when you have a main event matchup that can go either way because you made the argument that New Japan, it does need to usher in the new era and it does need to happen sooner rather than later, but there's also the argument of Naito is your only really homegrown top guy that you have left that can deliver on the main event level? And are you going to have him drop the title 6 days before the biggest US show you ever going to do? And he was going to defend the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against a major star in Jon Moxley. Are you going to do that? And there is also the story that they have been building and talking about on commentary about Naito wanting this reign to kind of solidify his legacy, because all Naito has ever had is these short reigns that are very forgettable. And it would be nice to, at the end of his career, to have that one big reign where he is successful, and they have it set up for him to have that type of reign, even if he possibly could lose at like Dontaku or Dominion, because they set him up for 3 straight title defenses and 2 in 6 days with this matchup and the Moxley matchup. And then Resurgence in May is also, there's advertising an IWGP World Heavyweight Championship matchup. And you're getting 2 unpredictable main events if Naito wins here, because then Moxley versus Naito, that's also unpredictable, because they could say, hey, we're gonna put the title on the top gaijin basically now, and Moxley can do a tour in New Japan. You never know. So I think that it makes more sense for what they are doing the next 6 days with those 2 big shows to have Naito win here. So that's why I'll go with Naito winning here. And like I've been saying for pretty much since the end of last year, I feel like Zack is the guy to beat Naito, because that's where you can get everything. Tsuji's already been elevated by winning the New Japan Cup.
Right.
You're just adding on to the elevation by him winning the championship. He doesn't need to win the title. He's already been elevated. Someone else can get that honor of beating Naito and getting that elevation. And instead of you just having one guy who's really like the main event guy that everybody's trying to capitalize on all the momentum you've built for Zack. That's what I think they should do. And that's the guy that should beat Naito at least the first half of the year. I think Naito should probably win the title back by the end of the year or something like that, because I feel like Naito is the guy that probably should be in the main event. If you're not going with 2 young guys like Tsuji versus Shooter at next year's Wrestle Kingdom, then it has to be Naito versus either Tsuji and Shooter or Shooter.
So then I guess the question then becomes, right? I'm still sticking with Tsuji for the win. The question then becomes, if Naito does win the match, Tsuji can't stay. He can't stay at LIJ, bro. There's just no way.
Yes, he
no, I can't.
You're still learning. You're still learning. You're still learning.
I can't. I don't know. A part of me just can't see it for whatever reason.
Still learning. Tsuji, when he's ready, when he's really ready, a year from now, he can beat Naito at next year's Wrestle Kingdom, or beat Naito in the G1 and then beat him at the end of the year for the title. There's multiple ways they can go about this where he could stay with LIJ for now. I think long term, it's him turning on Naito and LIJ that is really where we're going to take Tsuji to the next level character-wise.
All right. I can see it.
Like he needs this loss to set it up. He can't just face the top guy and then just beat him. There's no story there. That's just he's better than the old guy. Okay, he's gone now too. So you've already beaten Tanahashi to death that he's not a main eventer, and you're telling me, oh, Tsuji, we're just pushing him all the way, and he's gonna run through Naito. We're done with Naito as a main eventer too. No, let's get some. Let's drag this fucking horse until he can't run no more. Let's get as much juice out of Naito as we can, because we didn't get that with Okada.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to see. I'm just thinking more shock value type thing.
No. Don't think about it 1 year late. Don't do the WWE thing. No. 1 year late. I tried to give y'all a shock value last year. You didn't want it then. All right, so you don't get it now.
Because we still had everyone at the company back then.
I saw the writing on the wall. I tried to help you.
Listen, man, at the end of the day, whatever way they decide to go, the story, 1, has to make sense, and 2, it's got to be good, man. It's got to get people to watch. That's really what this is about at the end of the day. I agree with you. Obviously, Tsuji winning the New Japan Cup is elevating him, but he needs to be able to stay at that level of elevation. So I don't know how they do that post loss if he loses to Naito at the end of the day. So all these balls in the air. Who knows how it's gonna go at the end of the day? But I'm going with Tsuji, man. I'm going with Tsuji.
I am going with Naito to retain. So we shall see, as it is the big start to WrestleMania Saturday, because you got that show, you got NXT Stand and Deliver, then you got WrestleMania Saturday. There's a whole bunch of indie shows on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's even some on Saturday as well. Right. And then Sunday, the final night of WrestleMania. So much to enjoy. But we appreciate y'all if you're enjoying our first of multiple previews that we're going to have for WrestleMania week. But I want to thank J-News for joining me. Let everybody know where they can follow you and see a bunch of your other content, whether it be your movie podcast, whether it be your wrestling work over on the Workhorse Wrestling Network. The floor is yours.
Man, as of right now, I'm still doing the Workhorse Wrestling Network. Seeing Stars podcast. Me and Dolores do it every Monday morning at 10 a.m. So check us out there. We won't be there on April 1st. Dolores has some personal stuff to take care of, and it's also my birthday week. So the old man is I'll be working because I don't party, folks. Let's be real. I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. It is what it is. I'll be working. And yes, follow me on the Twitter machine and on Instagram, John LYFNMG, your friendly neighborhood moviegoer. As of right now, the pod has stopped, but I have not stopped reviewing movies. I'm writing reviews nowadays via the letterbox. So check me out there. I posted on my Twitter and on my Instagram as per my letterbox reviews and stuff like that or whatever. So check that out as well. Thank you for the support for those who have been checking it out so far. Appreciate that very, very much. And never forget that your good brother J-News will show up here and there on True Heel Heat because I'm part of the family, folks. And that's just, you can't get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like motherfucking Uncle Ruckus. You know what I'm
saying? I love it. I love it. You are. Can't get rid of me. Don't trust these new niggas over there. Make your ass wonder. Yeah, so many. I love it. Uncle Ruckus is one of my favorite characters of all time.
He's a classic. He's a classic. People, this is gonna go over a lot of people's heads. Boondocks is very niche, but at the end of the day,
it's okay. It's okay. We're here for the culture. Yeah, we're here for the culture, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, thank you for that, sir. But yes, check out all the great stuff J-News is doing on all these different platforms, and check out all the great stuff that we got on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, the flagship podcast. Check out our Dark Side of the Ring review. Check out our New Japan Cup final review with myself and Sanal, breaking down all the action from this year's tournament, and as well as AE Ramble episode 139, Swerve to the Top. Check that out as well. Total nonstop blunts. There's so much to enjoy on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, and so much coming up from your WrestleMania 40 preview. We got an NXT Stand and Deliver preview, the usual stuff, whether it be AE Ramble, Total Nonstop Blunts. We got so much to enjoy. So check it all out here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching on demand, sound off in the comments down below and let us know your predictions for NJPW Sakura Genesis 2024. Thank you, J-News. For J-News, it is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been our NJPW Sakura Genesis 2024 preview. We are signing off until next time.